So, Xbox have made a huge mistake that has resulted in leaked documents related to them as well as Bethesda. The leaks, however, are quite out of date, specifically the Bethesda leaks, but let's look at the Xbox leak first. According to this leak, Xbox is refreshing the Series X and S, but they're not going to be mid-gen refreshes. They are more similar to the Xbox One S refresh, which was just a slimmer console and also a version of the Xbox One that was digital only. And speaking of digital only, the refresh seems to be digital only as well. Although don't ignore that Microsoft had a patent concerning an external disk drive, so they may just be following PlayStation, who are allegedly going to do the exact same thing. As we can see in the image, the console definitely has a facelift, which has changed it from a rectangular PC-like design to a cylindrical design. The information in the image suggests to us that the console has 2TB of storage, instead of 1TB on the current Series X, a new USB-C port on the front like the PS5, a new immersive controller which we'll get to in a minute, and the price remains the same?
You can't be serious.
Yeah, I can't get my head around that. The price is $499, which in the UK is £449, same as the current Series X, and as for why that is the case, I don't know. But that's not good considering it doesn't have the disc drive, and the digital version of the PS5 is £50 cheaper. It might be more worth buying the Series S over this, and although it finally gets the latest Bluetooth 5.2 and Wi-Fi 6, which the PS5 technically already had, this console won't be worth anything unless it has an external disc drive or if it does something that other consoles can't. And this one is something I will explore in another video, but that video is Xbox allowing for the running of Windows, because PC has been all digital for much longer than consoles, and the transition wasn't that difficult in terms of gaming, so maybe the same for consoles. But yet again, consoles are not PCs where all sorts of things can be performed, but I will discuss all of that in another video. Moving on to the controller on the outside, aside from the two-tone colour, is the same, but on the inside there are dramatic changes. This new controller is seemingly improving connectivity with mobile phones, as you can see where it says new mobile features. See paired devices and cloud and managed devices and accessories. What's more interesting though is where it says precision haptic feedback. Now we know that the DualSense for the PS5 is the best controller now due to the adaptive triggers and the haptics, but Xbox is now finally getting it. I was expecting it because shortly after the launch of the series consoles, Xbox surveyed people and asked if gamers wanted haptic feedback on Xbox controllers, and feedback seemed to be positive on bringing haptics to Xbox, so I'm not surprised. Also, the haptics are said to be also speakers, which is quite convenient. Also, an accelerometer is included, which may be for the lift to wake feature, and also the most important thing is a rechargeable battery included, and it's replaceable. That is like the best of both worlds of PlayStation and Xbox, being able to charge the controller without having to buy a charge and play kit or AA batteries like PlayStation, as well as not worrying about when a rechargeable battery drains and then stops to a point where you have to keep plugging it in. So that is one thing I think Xbox have got right. Moving on to Bethesda, we got a leak of the physical year list, and as we can see here, the dates clearly are out of place, so don't start jumping to conclusions, but from what we can see here, starting from physical year 22, we have Indiana Jones here, which means the game is not far off from release, and it may release late next year. Also, a remaster of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion seems to be in the making, which is interesting. Then there is an Elder Scrolls Online expansion and Starfield DLC, which is the Shattered Space expansion said to be coming next year. Physical year 23 is even more interesting, as the first thing we see is what seems to be a new Doom game titled Year Zero. Now I think this is a sequel to Internal, because I wouldn't think that Bethesda would leave the reboot as just 2 games. I would have thought that Bethesda would want to make a trilogy out of the reboot, and it seems like they will. Also, it says DLC next to the title, which means it could be much bigger than expected. Interestingly, we have a new IP codenamed Project Kestrel, and whatever this game is, it will be exciting to find out. And then we have another Elder Scrolls Online expansion and another unannounced title codenamed Project Platinum. Fiscal year 24 is even more interesting as the Elder Scrolls 6 is included, although that is likely to be pushed back into fiscal year 25 or something. Also, Project Kestrel seems to have a planned DLC involved. A licensed IP is included, and to me I think that could be the long rumoured Mandalorian game from ZeniMax Online. Or it could be something else, maybe from DC, as I think Marvel, due to their deal with PlayStation, I doubt they will do a game with Microsoft, but you never know. And it could be something completely different, but this is very interesting. We also have a Fallout 3 remaster there, which I would love to see because it is a game that hasn't aged well, and while I think a remake would be best, I think a heavy remaster akin to the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect 1 would work, because I love the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect 1, and while it still shows signs of age, it looks 10 times better than the original version, so a heavy Fallout remaster would work. Then we have another Elder Scrolls Online expansion, a Ghostwire Tokyo sequel, Dishonored 3, which I think could bring Xbox back to form since Arcane is known best for that franchise, and then Doom Year Zero DLC. So from these leaks, the future of Xbox looks interesting and probably problematic at the same time, because I don't think the console refreshes will succeed compared to the PS5 Slim and maybe even the Pro. But I think the controller refresh makes sense to give the DualSense some competition, and the Bethesda games look interesting. And I can't wait to see how it all unravels. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe and smash the bell button, and I'll see you next time. Take care.